Teacher told janitor to solve calculus as a joke. What happened next shocked the whole school. Everyone at Lincoln High knew Mr. Jenkins. Not as a teacher, not as a student, but as the quiet, middle-aged janitor who swept the halls humming old jazz tunes and wore the same patched-up denim jacket every day. He'd nod politely, never intruding, always around but somehow invisible to most. That is, until the day everything changed. It started in Mrs. Carter's advanced calculus class, a room filled with overachievers, future engineers, and the occasional class clown. The school's annual math marathon was coming up, and tensions were high. Students buzzed with competition, arguing over limits, integrals, and derivatives. Mrs. Carter, a sharp and often sarcastic teacher, tried to break the tension with a joke. Spotting Mr. Jenkins mopping just outside the open door, she called out with a grin, "Hey, Mr. Jenkins! Think you can solve this?" She pointed to a nearly unsolvable problem on the whiteboard, one even the top student had struggled with. A few students chuckled. Some rolled their eyes. It was meant to be lighthearted. Everyone assumed Mr. Jenkins would laugh it off and keep mopping. But Mr. Jenkins didn't laugh. He paused, leaned on the mop handle, and squinted at the equation. The room quieted as he walked in, slowly, like he was stepping back into a life he'd once left behind. He picked up the marker and stared at the board. And then he started writing. Not random guesses. Not gibberish. Step by step, with the calm confidence of someone who knew exactly what he was doing, he broke down the problem. The room fell silent. No one dared breathe too loudly. 10 minutes later, he capped the marker and turned around. "There you go," he said simply. "That's your answer." The class blinked. Mrs. Carter approached the board, squinting at the solution. Her jaw dropped. This is correct. It's completely correct." Word spread like wildfire. The janitor solved calculus. But that was just the beginning. The next day, Mr. Jenkins was called to the principal's office, not for punishment, but for an invitation. Turns out, Mr. Jenkins wasn't just any janitor. Years ago, he'd been a mathematics professor at a prestigious university with a PhD in theoretical mathematics. But life had taken a cruel turn. His wife passed away, and overwhelmed with grief, he walked away from his career and vanished from academia. He needed a change, a place where no one expected anything from him. He found solace in simple routines and quiet hallways. But the joke, the seemingly harmless challenge, had reminded him of something he'd buried deep: his love for math, for teaching, for sharing what he knew. The school board offered him a position as a part-time tutor for struggling students. He accepted with hesitation, unsure if he still had it in him. But once he started, it was like watching someone rediscover color after years in black and white. One student, Ava, who had always failed math, suddenly started passing. Another, Jordan, who was on the verge of dropping out, began staying after school just to ask Mr. Jenkins questions. His humble, patient approach made students feel seen, heard, and capable. By the end of the semester, the failing math scores at Lincoln High had improved dramatically. At graduation that year, the valedictorian, a student who'd once almost quit calculus, mentioned Mr. Jenkins in her speech. She said he didn't just solve an equation. He solved something in all of us, the belief that no matter who you are, where you've been, or what you've lost, it's never too late to share your gifts. The crowd gave him a standing ovation. From that day on, the halls didn't just echo with his humming, but with laughter, questions, and hope. And the door to his tutoring room? Always open. Because kindness isn't just about giving someone a chance, it's about believing that everyone, no matter their past, holds a brilliance the world still needs.